Hey guys, my name is Carrie and welcome to my garden. Um, this is my first time ever trying to make a garden successfully. I've tried in the past, but things didn't always go the way I wanted, one way or another. This is the first time I've ever planted vegetables and it actually turned out pretty good. I've got a few things planted, a few things that I didn't plan on planting but just sprouted up from past seeds that I guess were just there. But yeah, come look at my vegetables, guys. I am gonna say this. I'm not a professional. I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing something. I had to do something. It's just not affordable, and I feel like I would get a lot of pleasure and joy from growing my own food. So that's what I've started doing. Um, I don't, I didn't have the money for a tiller to till up my ground. See, over here I have this siding laid on the ground with things to hold it down to try and kill the grass so that whenever I go to plant these things and take them out of the pots, they'll be easier. Crowley, that's Crowley. But that's taking a long time. So I just decided to do it with pots. Just do a potted garden for now until hopefully maybe I can get my actual ground tilled up. So come look at the plants that I have. Okay, now I know that some of these don't look so healthy, but that's because that's from hardening. They're getting sunburnt. And that's okay, that's normal. As long as you see at the top, you have nice, fresh, beautiful green leaves. See here at the bottom, they have some little bit of sunburning, but that's okay. Right here we have a green bean. I decided to go with bush instead of pole because I just didn't have the system to allow them to really run. And then over here on the side, though, I have little pea plants. I'm hoping that those do good. I think I've really started them way too late in the season, and it gets way too hot, and I'm afraid that they're not going to make it to harvest. But again, it's all about trial and error, and this is probably as far along as I've ever gotten. I've got more bush beans, beautiful little bitties coming out of the bottom. I got my tomato plants. I actually bought the plants. I did not do those from seed. Everything else here was from seed, except for my tomatoes. Tomatoes, there were 6 of them for $3.50. I couldn't pass up the deal. And looks like something's been eating on this one. I make it a habit to come out here at nighttime and check for slugs, and I've actually noticed that a good way to find slugs is to look on the bottom of my pots. And one time I found easy 15 slugs between I didn't have all of these pots then, but half of them. And then I still have the green beans and peas, some more tomatoes, and my little tomatoes have look right there. Boop. Get it to focus in. Little flower, not quite ready, but hasn't started blooming, but it's there. So the fact that it's there makes me excited. More green beans. I got a little spider right there, and he is more than welcome to. Oh, he's not gonna zoom in on him. He's more than welcome to stay there. Looks like I also have another little spider web. Can't really, yeah. Another little spider web in there, and that's good. That's good. I enjoy the little spiders in my garden. They help keep away, and that's a whole bunch of peas that I need to replant. Um, but I think that they're gonna do fine because they're vine plants, so they should do good. This pea plant right here is doing really good. A lot of this stuff is stuff that I already had from my papa. My papa was a big gardener, and this piece of property has went without a garden for at least 10 years. But I'm trying to get our property back in order to how my papa would have liked it. Okay, anyways, this little guy right here is my one and only. The very first thing I planted when I started my garden, Velvet Queen sunflower. I brought them out too early, put them in the sun, and they died. They weren't ready. I was too eager. But I'm starting now. I'm restarting with some mammoth sunflowers. But like these two right here, I planted a couple weeks ago. And as soon as they came up out of the ground, like they just shot up. Those are watermelons right there. And then right here, I have cantaloupes. And these also are doing beautiful. So I have now decided to, instead of germinate my seeds, I'm just putting them straight in the pots. Because me putting them straight in the pots like I did with the watermelon and the cantaloupe, it did so exceptionally well. I mean, my green beans are doing good, my peas are doing good, but those are just blowing me away. My only surprise, something I did not plant, but something that grew, and I'm going to get into those empty pots right there. There's actually seeds in them, but I want to show you guys something that I do. It's not for everyone. Over here, this is where I'm going to put all my vining plants. Hey, Crowley. I'm going to devote this whole area from these two crepe myrtle trees all the way. Probably I'll trim them at the road. But I'm going to devote this whole area to vining plants. Just so that if I do put them over there, if I'm able to get the ground tilled, the vining plants won't take over the area that I need for my peas and beans. And these can just go free. But right here is something that I was not planning on growing, but it sprouted up in one of my pots, so I had to make room for it. And it's a pumpkin plant. You can see a little bit of sun damage, but that's okay. There's new leaves, stronger leaves, and right here I have a flower. Beautiful little guy. Every day these leaves wilt. I'll probably show you guys that later. These leaves, they wilt, and it looks like it's gonna die. It's surely about to die, but every morning, every evening, the leaves perk back up, and it's beautiful. And I love it. Oh, look, there's another flower right there. Right there, that's a little flower too. Hopefully one has to be male, one has to be female, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's, and I have my pumpkins right here, and this pole marks the center point. Pumpkins here, and then I was thinking about doing my cantaloupes right there, and then my watermelons right here, and allow the spread off, and just kind of take up this whole front area. Hey, fat cat. Dog loves playing with the cat. The cat so much does not agree with playing with the dog. But yeah, this is where my papa used to make his gardens. So I felt like it was only naturally right to make the gardens here. It's been 10 plus years. My papa used so much fertilizers, crop rotation, plus it's a small crop. You don't have to worry about rotating when it's just a little personal garden. The grass is really thick, though, which is why I'm not really trying to get out here with a shovel and do it myself. because my papa sprinkled down so much fertilizer. The grass here, still 10 years later, is extremely thick and rich. So that's what's going on there. But I'm about to show you guys my pot method. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but I know that it works for me in the area that I'm in. So I live in South Mississippi, and it's humid, very humid. And we like to call this the devil's armpit or the devil's crotch. It's just so hot, so thick. I know that I'm going to have problems with my tomatoes with it being so hot because they need a lot of air. They can't get stagnant, so I know I have to keep them separated. I'll probably keep those in the pots. But yeah, let's show you how I plant these things. Okay, so first of all, right here, I have started planting. I haven't watered. I've just put the seeds in. I have, and this is how I do it before I'm able to really get a good sense on what's on there. I got a label: jalapeno, squash, carrot, yeah, that's that. Okay, well, let's start with the easiest. A pot. You see, I poked 2 holes in the bottom just so it can drain well. And then I'm going to have to come over here to where the dog is guarding the rocks. You're a good guard dog? A rock guard dog? Yeah. I just grabbed some rocks just for good drainage. You know, I don't want to lose all my dirt through those holes. I put that dead grass in there too because it makes it's also good little spacer. It doesn't matter. It's turns into compost anyways. Now, I'm broke. We are cheap. I use what I have. So I have this topsoil, just $3.50 for 2 bags at Home Depot. Yes, please. And then I also have, which was given to me, is over here, the good stuff, compost and manure. Now, I don't put that on until I fill it up with dirt. So there's no special thing. You guys don't need to see me just dumping dirt into a pot. So I'm about to start this little dirt dumping, and then I will come back to you guys. Okay. Now that we have 3/4 way full of dirt, or majority, let's say 80%, 3/4, 80% full of dirt. Now I'm just gonna take and grab a handful of the compost. Okay, let's put 2 handfuls. I have small hands, kind of. 2 handfuls. Get that. I don't know what that's roots to, but I don't want them taking place in this pot. And then I'll bring it over here. No one said gardening was easy. So now I got my compost on top of the topsoil, but I'm not done. Now I have to take, no one endorses me. This is just the cheapest things I could find when I went to the store. So this is gardening on a budget. I just take a small handful because I don't want to burn my plants, and I just sprinkle it over the top. Now I'm going to take my hands and just kind of mix it up into just the top couple inches. Just fill up the top couple inches. Now, the next part. And notice I'm not wearing gloves. I do not wear gloves. You need to feel your dirt. You have to feel the moisture that's in it. I'm a beginning gardener, and I even know that feeling your dirt is very important. Okay, so now in here we are going to put Some zucchini. Not my favorite. Someone else in the household wants these, so they get them. Alright, and here are our seeds. Now this is how I do it. They are an arrow, right? A little pointy side. I always stick the pointy side down. And I just barely, well, I'm going to put them in their places. Their respective places. I'm only going to do a couple out of the packet because I have a whole bunch of green beans, and a whole bunch of peas. As you can see, I'm just pushing them down. Bloop, into the dirt. Pushing it down. Bloop, into the dirt. And then just lightly, just cover it. Oh, forgot that one. Push it down. Lightly cover. Now I'm just gonna take my marker and my tape, write zucchini on it, stick it on the side. Something I forgot to include on the tour of all my plants is my bell peppers. Now I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep these bell peppers because they seem to have stopped growing. I don't know what happened, but they're just stuck at this stage. I have many more over here. I've tried separating them to give them room to branch out. All of them. This one right here is the only one that has a true leaf. All the rest of them are just seedlings, and they're not doing anything. I put them also in pots, hoping it would help, and they're still not. So I'm thinking about ditching the bell peppers. I still have more seeds and just starting over. I don't know what I did to stunt these, but they're not doing anything, and these are like 3 weeks old. So, but right here is where I have my sunflower seeds germinating. I'm just trying a whole bunch of different approaches. One has to work and some will fail, and it's just a matter of, you know, getting it all together. These are all my seed packets. But I want to show you how I keep my dirt wet, because I know it's thin topsoil and I need to germinate seeds, right? So let me show you what I do with that. Okay, so what I do is I make a greenhouse. Yep, I make one. Plastic wrap, scissors, and then these, I don't know if that's necessarily needed. This is just something I had, something I'm going to use. Just huge rubber bands. I know that they will fit around the pot. Just a huge rubber band, just to make sure that the saran wrap doesn't go anywhere. But it's pretty simple, self-explanatory, but I'll go ahead and show you guys how I do it. Well, first things first. Before I can greenhouse them, I have to water them, right? You got to make sure, though, I use the mist setting when I'm working with seeds, because I don't want to displace or cause any problems, move the seeds around where I don't want them, make them come to the surface, something else I don't want. I have to work on my hose needs a little bit of work. Don't pay attention to how that's enormously failing. I don't even know what is going on with this thing. It doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna mist the areas, make sure they get nice and wet, because remember, I have drainage holes in the bottom. So Jesus Christ, looks like I'm gonna have to get a new hose nozzle. Wow, that is not doing so hot. That's okay though. All right. Now, in another video, I'll show you guys how I water my actual plants, which is very much different. I do bottom watering, and I'll do a whole other video about watering and how and when. See, now this is early in the morning that I'm doing this. Sun is just starting to poke up over the horizon. So yeah, there you go. Nice and watered, moist, nice and moist. So now let me show you guys how I greenhouse these babies. Okay, so what I've done is I've just took my saran wrap and I pulled out a piece that was long enough to cover the top, and I put it one way. Then I pulled out another piece. That's why it looks like that. And I put it the other way because it was just a little bit too short. It didn't give me the coverage all the way around that I would like. Remember, you don't need the sunlight. So if the little air bubbles and it not getting sunlight doesn't matter, because the seeds don't need sunlight to germinate. They just need moist, warm conditions. So I have the saran wrap on, push it around the sides, and then I take my rubber band, my large and in charge rubber band, and I just put it around it. Like so. Just stick it on there. Alright, so then I'm just gonna take my scissors. I'm gonna open it up so I don't make too big of a hole.